Brave the darkness, eat the hearts of gods, and purge the filth of the Red Plague in a shifting subterranean world. That's right, today, my friends, we're talking about an epic folk horror MÖRK game called Fomoria. Let's break it down. Well, hi, hello, everybody. My name is Turk. Welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Around here, we do all different kinds of TTRPG things, but that's right, today, we're talking about Fomoria, and I do not have a physical copy to show off here today because this bad boy is up on Kickstarter and BackerKit and everything else, and we have some quick start stuff and some other kinds of stuff that we're going to talk about and go over today. I'm pretty excited. Way back in April, Zach Goins sent me an email along with Johan Noor, letting me know they were getting ready to launch this thing, and they wanted to know if I would cover it on the old YouTube channel. That's right. They sent me over a bunch of press stuff and we're like, hey, Turk, you cover this if you want to. They sent me the quick start guide and I had some questions, but they never got back to me and I was kind of just waiting. But the time has come that I'm just going to cover it anyway. That's right. So that's what we're doing today. Pretty excited that they would reach out to me in the first place. But either way, this game looks sick, dude. So before we get into the short and shiny showcase of this bad boy, I do want to show you that this bad boy was on Kickstarter right here a little while ago. It looks like it finished was updated back in May, that's right, and it's really kind of just cool stuff, you guys. The art in this, the idea of this game is very cool. Anyway, estimated delivery as it stands now is November, looks like 2026. You can get the free quick start guide over on itch.io. You can get this bad boy. It comes with the quick start. It has some pre-generated characters as well as a Spawn of the Hungering One little PDF that is now open to the public, so all of you guys can get it too. There will be links to all these things in the description, as well as a link, of course, to the Kickstarter, which will then lead you over to the BackerKit, all right, or wherever you can actually pre-order the dang thing right here. And 425 SEK, I think, is about $45 US, maybe. I don't know. I'm not good at conversion. Cool. That's all the information about the game. Before we get into it and open up the quick start and start looking at it, and I start getting a little excited about it, I want to give a big shout out to the Couch crew members, all you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the dang show, whether that's channel members or Patreons. Really, thank you so much. We get to do some fun projects. These videos keep happening, and I get to remain my same authentic self because of your support, so thank you so much. Heck yeah. Okay, so here's our quick start PDF. Tanya Herrero and Johan Noor. Cover art is pretty sick. Man, this book is gonna look so good on a shelf. My goodness. Okay, so I also want to say, I've looked through this a little bit. I kind of just skimmed it, see what it was all about, and it was like, yep, we need to cover this. So today's also gonna not only be a short and shiny showcase, but we're also doing a little bit of a first impressions, all right? So this is the quick start feature of an early version of this game and offers a peek at Fomoria. I hope I'm saying Fomoria right. I suck with pronunciation. You know this. Many of the rules and content will change in the final version of the game. Please take a minute to send your feedback and help make the game better. Oh, we got a little click. We can click there to send feedback. That's cool. Probably gonna do that. Now, we've got our credits. We love our art and graphic design from Johan Noor, and this is probably the art in this. First of all, we love Johan Noor's artwork always, but the art in this, the color that they have decided to use and everything. Oh my goodness, this page right here. Like, if I were to ever have like an art theme for the Grouch Couch, this would be it. This is literally it. The grays and the oranges and the awesome shading that they've done. It's just so sick. The color palette is wonderful and the style is amazing. So first of all, that's going to draw you into the game. All right. We already know that it is. I just wanted to shout it out a little bit. Okay. Chapter 1, a world beneath the earth. So that is a theme here that we're talking about. All right. Beneath the earth is this Fomoria world. Do you remember how we came to this place? We have only the songs and the stories, memories of gold. So in the earth's dark womb, there is no sun and darkness swallows all light. Gazing at the roof above, folk only find the distant glow of false stars. Fomoria stretches endlessly, a labyrinth of shifting tunnels and yawning caverns. Maps are lies, memories betray, familiar paths twist. The promise of discovery leads to doom. The strata. Each strata is a world within the world, vast and distinct, each with its own rules, horrors, and wonders. It breathes and shifts. It dreams in Stygian shades, a colossal sleeper, stirring and reshaping its own flesh. Even the darkness watches. The surface is but myth and legend. There are infinite strata. None are safe. Cool. It's so themey, dude. So cool. There's one thing about, I love the idea of MÖRK, and I love the mechanics of Morkborg. And the world wants to kill you, right? It's tough. But the theme of it is always so far and stretching. It gives you so much room to work with. There's no like grounding of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way the world is. Like, no, the world is different and deadly. And you know what I mean? It's real general. And so having this actual world lore, like specification on top of some Morkborg deadliness and cool rules is fantastic. And I love the idea of it. Let me know if you understand what I mean a little bit. The weird and uncanny. The folk are twisted remnants of what once was, draped in claw and strangeness. They crawled into the earth's guts too long ago to recall the sky. After the surface began to bleed rot and the red plague devoured the world above, it drips, still, red, warm, hungry. Fomoria never belonged to the folk. They are trespassers. The Eldritch slip between layers of reality. They appear when they will, when called, when bound. Boons they grant at a price. They are strata made flesh, raw emotion, the essence of beasts. Unyielding stone burn the tree. And they become the sorrow of ashes, the wrath of scorched bark, always reborn, force them out of their purpose, and they will become woes, tainted, corrupted, deformed, and maddened. They hold grudges and never forget. And this cool little goat in this armor right here, like trying to save his homie from falling off this cliff of darkness. This, like, the perspective on this art piece is very cool. All right, this is the art I'm probably going to have as my desktop background moving forward, also probably on the thumbnail. But anyways, let's continue on. I'm going to gawk, okay, and just ooh and ah over the artwork and everything about this game in this here video. That's pretty much what this video is, me just being like, ooh, ah, so like, just know that. All right. Anyways, now we're talking about clans here. The clan is your family, not just blood, but bond, belief, and purpose. To join is to embrace their ways, their vision, their truth. Some folk serve their clans as farmers, artisans, builders. Others seek more than a quiet life. Clans gather where the Eldritch favor the folk, whether by command or contract. They call these communes shrines, the cabals. Each clan has its own agenda, and the balance of power is a delicate dance. From this chaos, small groups emerge, cabals united by need, not creed. They hunt the Eldritch, purge the filth of the Red Plague, and serve the whims of the powerful. Alliances of convenience. Loyalty is a luxury, ambition a weapon. The outcasts of Fomoria, pariahs, banished for crimes, failures, or defiance. They live on the fringes, unwanted and feared, thieves, murderers, tools of the wretched scum. To accept an outcast into a clan would bring ruin, dishonor. It is a fate worse than death. So, we're talking about clans and outcasts. I thought the cabals might have been a clan in itself, but it looks like cabals are small groups. Behind the veil. Whoa, look at this one. All the little cross-hatching and stuff, dude. So sick. All right. To dwell in Fomoria. What is Fomoria? Well, Fomoria is a world that doesn't want you. You carve your name into the stone, knowing the next trimmer will reduce it to dust. You stand against horrors that should not be faced, knowing they will change you, unmake you, and yet you refuse to kneel to oblivion. You dare the darkness to swallow you whole. And when it does, the world will not remember you. This is a game of epic horror. Sick. So now we're getting into a little bit of rules here. Time is time and travel. So units to track actions. 1 turn is 10 seconds. A round is a series of turns. A stretch is a short rest. Exploration of a room, 15 minutes, and a shift is 6 hours. This is, you know what I mean? Pretty straightforward kind of stuff. We've got rules for darkness. Fomoria is not dark. It is darkness. Living, watching, waiting. No folk knows what it is. No folk dare explain it. It feeds on minds, striking when you falter, when you are weak. If you use the optional Threads of Fate rule, folk may pray to the darkness to gain a thread that must be used immediately. Propose an automatic success at an action in exchange of a terrible, unavoidable consequence determined by the GM and the other players, or to replenish D4 boons. Propose an automatic success. Neat. So I mean, like, we're going to solo this thing, right? I might solo it with the quick start guide if I'm feeling fancy enough, or we'll wait until November when we get our hands on it and we'll do it then. But I'm wondering which solo Morkborg rules I want to use to do this. Talking about boons and the GM making the decisions made me think about that a little bit. And there are some great solo stuff out there for Morkborg. Like yesterday we just covered Recluse, which is basically Ironsworn Morkborg. There's also Solitary Defilement and Herrectory. We'll see if that's what we use. We're going to do this. I'm just thinking, if you guys in the comments want to see me use some specific certain kind of tools while I solo this bad boy, make sure to let me know, all right? Because it's going to happen, just 100%. Anyways, all of them cost 1 permanent SP. I don't know what an SP is yet. Silver piece, maybe. I don't know. If you run out of SP this way, you're giving your yourself to the darkness. It will make good use of you. The darkness always listens. It feeds on suffering. The more misery it can spread, the more powerful it grows. Classic stuff. Pray to the darkness. Interesting. All right, some of this is behind my camera, but I'll read it for us. We'll know what's up. Light is life. Lanterns and torches ward off the insidious darkness. None leave the shrines without them. Remember, the shrines are basically the little communities. Torches burn bright for 1 hour. Lanterns hold life for 4 hours per oil flask. A fire lasts a shift as someone watches it. Without a light, the darkness will claim you. When the lights are out, the darkness schemes, D4. And then we have a D4 roll chart right here, ranging from it's looking at you. GM can spin a thread of fate with the effects turned against you. The darkness remembers you, where you test occult DR12 or you lose D6 SP, etc. Up to 4. Looks like you lose rations, you lose HP or SP, and the GM can just turn your successes into failures when you're in darkness. Just because. Cool. Oh man, this art piece here. Look at the little bat guy. We love the little bat guy and the little crows and everything. Man, looks like they're leaving a shrine to head out into the darkness. And you see their lantern right here? Man, what cool color choices to use. And so like the orange color is the light. Everything else is darkness. This color scheme is starting to make way more sense all of a sudden, and I'm all about it. Sick, dude. Now we're into basic rules. I'm assuming that a lot of these rules are going to sit true for MÖRK, but we shall see. Ability scores. We have agility, presence, strength, and toughness, and we have occult, which I think is new for this here system. Our HP is our HP points, obviously. When we hit 0, we get dire injuries. Whenever we go under 0, just like in most MÖRK games, we die, right? If the result says so, or if you go under -6 in any of your ability scores as the result of a dire injury. Cool, so extra mechanics there. So now we have our, or also I want to say, occult is wield boons, persist, or deal with the eldritch. Cool. SP, which is stability points, which was mentioned to us earlier. So some creatures and events will target your mind instead of your body. Roll on the dismal breakdowns table. If your SP reaches 0, risking loss of your occult ability score, your character becomes hollowed. If your occult falls below -6, you are lost forever to the darkness. Dude, very cool. So that's what SP is. Will trigger your mind. The dismal breakdowns table. We'll have to learn more about that later. The difficulty ratings, yes, these are what we roll against whenever we roll our D20s. All of them are 12, unless stated otherwise by the GM. Roll a D20 against the GR. Very good. These are the difficulty examples. So standard is a DR 12 right here. Carrying capacity. You have 12 plus strength slots. Heavy items and 2-handed weapons take 2 slots. An even weightier item might take more. Silver pieces don't take a slot unless they're over 100. Backpacks and containers don't take a slot and add up to 3 more slots. Equipped armor doesn't take up slots. Sick. Straightforward. I'm loving, okay, right now I am loving how straightforward this game is. There's some little themey things and then like, here's rules. I hate in RPGs. A lot of times I don't point it out, but it happens a lot when just like repetition of too much and it's like, there's like fluff inside of the rules. When it comes to the rules, just give me them, you know? And so far, I'm really happy with this. This is why I usually like most MÖRK games because they're straightforward. You know what I mean? Like, here's what it is. You know what I mean? Just one single sentence. We're not going to repeat it and then give you an example and then repeat it again. Oh my goodness, I hate it. Just tell me what it is, baby. And so this is straightforward. I like it a lot. I like a game that doesn't treat you like an idiot. You know what I mean? Sick. Some people may agree with me on that. I know some people need repetition to learn, and that's okay for you. But for me, that's the way it is. All right. Whoa. Look at this wormy guy. We've got a little cool characters down here fighting this thing. It's pretty sick, dude. All right, we're into violence. And I like the little accent images on these pages. Themey. Very good. Okay. Violence. We roll our MÖRK initiative. We're making our tests. This all looks pretty MÖRK straightforward if you're familiar with that system. Melee attacks are strength, ranged is presence, and all MÖRK systems are player forward, so you roll to dodge or to block. You do not, a monster doesn't roll to hit your AC or DR or whatever, and you have armor, which if they do hit you, the armor that you're wearing subtracts the amount of damage that they do. And if you like critical fail on your dodge or block, then your armor gets broken. You also take double damage. So this is all straightforward, straight up MÖRK rules. Cool with that. I've almost got these rules memorized at this point in my journey. Anyways, dual wielding though. This looks fun. Roll the attack and damage of your offhand twice, taking the lowest result for each. Interesting. Very interesting. Almost makes me want to make a dual wielding crow guy. We'll get into classes in a second, I'm sure. Weapon expertise. This is new. But also, I really like the art pieces that make you think for a second. Look at the perspective on this, dude. Look at the way that this thing, look at the perspective. So sick. Okay. There are 7 several weapon types. Expertise with each weapon type begins at 0. Each time you survive a combat encounter, roll a d6. On a 6, your expertise with the weapon type you use increases by 1. Alternatively, the GM chooses when it's appropriate to level up your expertise. For every 3 levels of expertise, you can choose an expert feat for that weapon type, up to 3 feats per weapon type. You can develop expertise in multiple weapons. You can only increase your expertise with 1 weapon type per combat. If you use more than 1 weapon, you must choose. This quick start only offers some of the possibilities found in Fomoria. And you see how straightforward that was? Just like one single, it's not like, so for example, if you battled with, oh my god, shut up. Okay, I won't mention it again, I promise. I just really like the way this game's written. I really like it. So, battle axes have things like meat grinder or just like butter, maces, flails, and hammers. We have short swords, daggers, and sickles, do counterattack and bloodletting. Ooh, sickles, that's fun. Dual wielding sickles, imagine. Ooh. Bows, quick shot, or eyes on target, yes. All right, now we have morale. Morale should be the same as in BORG. Most enemies won't battle until the end. We roll 2d6 against the enemy's morale if the leader's killed or half the group's eliminated, or an individual foe. If I only have half HP, I might roll morale, you know what I mean? So rolling above the creature's morale value means it's demoralized. Then we roll a d6 to determine if they retreat or they surrender. And we actually have a little roll chart down here at the bottom, it's behind my head, you guys can't see it, that have their reaction if they surrender. It's kind of cool. Ooh, whoa. Look at the little duckbill guy. And the deer folk, the snake folk, he looks like, I don't know, cool looking. I don't know what your animal you're based on. So cool. Oh, y'all can't see the duckbill guy because he's behind my head. I must show you. Look at him. Oh, he's so cute. He's playing a little lute and everything. He's platypus, probably. Still sick. All right. Boons and resting. Boons are powers bestowed to the folk by the Eldritch, given by command or contract. To wield one, spend a word, weird, and select the effect to use from your boon list. Then test occult DR12. On success, the boon is wielded. On a failure, it is not, and you lose D2 HP and feel dizzy for 1 hour. During this time, you can still wield boons, but the DR is 14. And if they fail, they do so in the worst possible way for you. Your weird replenishes D4 plus occult after every shift spent resting. Cool. So we have a weird stat. I mean, I'm curious to look at these character sheets to see if there's spots for everything. So when you're building, you don't forget. I'm sure there'll be more in character creation. But anyways, learning boons. Not everyone can resist the teachings of the Eldritch. When you try to learn a new boon, test occult DR12. On a success, the knowledge sinks in. On a failure, the knowledge is too complex and you lose D4 SP trying to unravel it. And I want to look back up here because if we're losing SP, stability points, we probably lose occult, or I'm wondering if SP is just straight up like mental points somewheres. Stability points that we might have as like a stat on our character sheet. It could be. Because then I think after our stability points are gone, then we start losing occult. And then if we get to -6 occult, we are done. Gotcha. All right, moving on. We have resting here. Resting always requires spending a provision. I like that they called it provision instead of ration. Very good. Rest for a stretch, rest for a shift. Detrimental conditions. Infection. You cannot recover HP while infected. Dread. You stress, horror, exhaustion, lack of sleep. You cannot recover while suffering from dread. Starvation. A player character doesn't eat or drink in 2 days, starts to suffer. Very good. Classic BORG shenanigans. Oh, I'm looking at some roll charts right now. Y'all know how much I like roll charts. I like this art piece too. It's very fun. It's more red, you know, doesn't fit exact color theme, but I still dig. All right, failure and fate. Our dire injuries, we have a D10. So whenever we hit 0, we get a dire injury. Our dismal breakdown. So this happens when our SP reaches 0. So we have mental and physical in this game. That's very cool. Very cool. Paranoia, hallucinations, teratophobia, what the heck? And it goes all the way up to a D10. And then we have our Threads of Fate optional rule, which is behind my head, so I'll read. Behind the veil, invisible hands pluck the strings, knotting lives together and pulling them apart. The fates whisper, their threads taut and tangled, building you to forces neither kind nor cruel, only inevitable. You may call it luck, but the threads of fate are fickle. They fray, they snap, they twist, and sometimes they obey. Every character begins with Threads of Fate, but it's optional, so. Fragile and finite. Those with classes consult their threads die. The rest are granted D2 threads. They replenish every day. You can use them to deal max damage, reroll any damage roll, reduce damage to you, negate or crit a fumble. Oh, so threads are omens. Got it. Threads are omens. Different word for omens, and they're optional in this. Very good. I think that's cool to keep it optional because we're already tracking so many little fiddle bits so far. And I want to remember what it was talking about when it was talking about threads earlier. When you're in darkness, basically the GM can use threads against you. And while you're in darkness, you can also pray to the darkness to gain extra threads. Pretty much. Very good. Okay. And look at that. That's it. Wow. I want more. I want more. I am mad. Give me more. We have a little bit. To go over. Don't worry, it's not over yet. All right. Okay, we have our pre-generated characters here. Jotna. So he does have 8 HP. He's got the 1 SP that we were talking about earlier. He's got 1 weird, and he's got 2 threads. And weird is used to activate boons that you can get from the Eldritch, which we don't have a list of boons yet, so we don't know what exactly those are going to be, but I'm sure we will. But we can spend our weird. Your weird replenishes D4 plus occult every day. So if we're on this guy, his occult is -2, so D4 -2 occult every day. It's looking like, though, occult is going to be... Oh, no, he has +3 occult. This guy does. All right, so he just starts with -2 occult. That's interesting. He is Morvag of the Markin clan. The wolf folk live by tooth and claw. Weakness is a death sentence. Your rage and pride burn bright. You are the first to leap into the fray and the last to retire. Mercy is a luxury the strong cannot afford. Part of the kin, yours wanders like storms, restless and untamed. Walls are built by the weak and to die slower. If you forget the old ways, the world will forget you. Your scars are your pride. A map of life lived without chains. So the wolf clans are like the barbarians, the Vikings, is what I'm assuming. Very cool. Folk feat. The Morvag have an infamously bad temper. They can use their rage once per shift. Barbarians, here we are, to reduce the DR of their strength test by 2 and increase their damage by a D4. This tantrum lasts for a stretch of 1 combat encounter. Oh, I like it. I like how simple and straightforward and awesome. Okay, here's the gear that he has. He's got his hide armor, and it looks like the Hollow Saint Eldritch Charm. This is some kind of artifact. A small wooden figure with a hollow chest. Once per day, it can absorb nearby pain, healing allies for D6 HP. It is fragile. If it breaks, it will explode, causing the same damage it has healed in a radius equal to 1 foot per HP stored. If it breaks. So do you roll to see if it breaks? Maybe on a critical 1 or something? Fear makes the beast grow bigger. You intimidate a creature for D4 rounds. It tests morale. On a success, attacks and defense against it are -2. On a failure, it tries to flee. So no matter what, it's going to work. Sick. All right, I don't know how much other art we have. Looks like all of them do have art. I really love Deerkin. I love Deerkin so much. If you guys have been following the channel for long enough, we started developing a TTRPG, and in every TTRPG I make, I always, if I can include Deerkin, I will. Deer aren't like my favorite animal in the world. Like really? Not even close. But I love them in fantasy settings. There's just something about intelligent deer with big old horns, and they can decorate their horns and stuff. There's something about that I just think is cool. So I love whenever TTRPG includes it. It's very fun. The Drell Elkin. No, it's not the, it's just Drell. Elkin of the Whispering Seers clan. Very cool. You deer folk move like whispers, deliberate and unseen. The world has patterns, cycles, and Fomoria's web trembles with every ripple and step. You act when the moment demands and wait when it does not. Strength and stillness. There's also something about that, because yeah, dude, deer will just fucking stand still for hours, bro. Anyways, seers do not bend the eldritch to their will. They commune with them for knowledge. And you know this always comes with a cost. You peer into the abyss for answers no one else dares to look. Power is irrelevant without understanding. Fair enough. Their folk feat is that they can understand Eldritch easier. So all their occult tests are lowered by DR2. Sick. Okay, I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly because we have one other thing we want to cover within our time limit here. And I know I've just been gawking about stuff for a while. So we have Zaglis, the Platincan of the Dry Blue clan. He's got occult is also -3. Slow, perhaps. What is he, like a sloth? But no one mocks the pangolin. Oh, he's a pangolin? Pangolin folk twice. Interesting. We have Ozma. Very cool. I love me bird folks. I'm gonna make a bird folk with sickles. I'm gonna make this character and play as this character in my solo game. Swear. He is Korax, or Ozma, Korax of the Bramble Walkers clan. Raven folk like you are keepers of whispers, ever roaming, ever listening, with an endless hunger for knowledge. No tale is too small, no rumor too trivial. You remember all in your eyes, all knowledge is treasure. As a Bramble Walker, you tread the fine line between remedy and ruin, both miraculous healer and nefarious poisoner, field and sought in every measure. The walkers believe every illness, curse, and affliction can be studied and treated. To heal the world, you must understand what makes it rot. Cool, he's like a herbalist kind of guy. Very fun. Why are crows always herbalists? I don't know. It's always crazy. Kavala, Vilashka of the Children of the Sun Clan. I just imagine he talks that way. The snake folk, heck yeah. Jor. Where's Jor? There he is. This is like, man, duck folk are the best. So like, Mutant Year Zero, the TTRPG I'm developing after us, Dragonbane, dude, duck folk are the best. I don't know what it is. Platypus folk is what they're calling it here. All right, sick. You know what? You just one up to me. That's better. Very good. He looks cool though. Morak. What is he? He's a goat folk. Oh, cool. And I think we've seen this guy in some of the art pieces actually. He's friggin' huge, dude. Goat folk are close to the earth as their hooves. Very cool. All right. Ugh. Oh, Ugh, that's the noise I made when I first seen this art piece. It's so good. I think I'm actually going to put him in the thumbnail. We'll see. He is Zot, Chiros of the court of Mirage's clan. Everyone knows to never underestimate Chiros, but the bat folk like you revel in proving it's true. Smallest of the folk, wings carry you where others can't follow. In a world where everyone is bigger and stronger, your kind remain bound by quiet loyalties, always watching out for their own. This art reminds me, I think of like, was there like a character in Hercules or something? You guys know what I'm talking about? Was there a bat in Hercules? That's what it reminds me of, but it's so cool. We like it a lot. Okay, that was the pre-gens. Now we're gonna look at this quickly. This is Spawn of the Hunger. Hold on. Spawn of the Hungering One. This is a intro adventure for the Fomoria TTRPG. It's designed to test the base mechanics and give a glimpse of the full game and its setting included in the quick start package. There are 8 pre-made characters you can use to play the adventure. Please take a minute to send your feedback right here. I'm gonna send my feedback and just put sick sauce. Oh man. So we're gonna skim through this real quick. Man, look at this guy. Friggin' extra arm, goat head, having ass. Sick. The missing folk. The Ivory Forest Shrine stands beneath pale towers of mushroom flesh. So this is like another perspective image. We're standing at the Ivory Forest Shrine looking up at the mushroom. So cool. Their caps vanish into the black, feeding on what folk bury in their roots. Today, the lichen-covered walls are filled with whisper. Folk are vanishing. There's a doll near the stream. No sight of a child. A woman never returned from the well. A moss farmer's home was left empty. The folk here are not warriors. They only seek to endure in calm existence. You are the exception. I want to play this game. Oh man. I'm just thinking about the theme, and then I'm like thinking about the villages, right? And like what, you know, it's not the world ending that's the enemy. The darkness is the enemy. Like, I don't know. It's very cool. Someone you cannot leave behind. We've got a little roll chart here for someone that connects your character to the story. The White Fingers. The White Fingers guard the shrine. The forest will manifested as an eldritch. A stock cannot be taken unless a body feeds the soil. It is the pacted price. Those who seek its wisdom must offer flesh to feed its roots. Their own 1 HP or another. This is an eldritch god here. Friggin' mushroom guy. 46 HP. What does it know? So the adventure starts with you meeting this creature, and you must give HP. You must give life force to it before it'll even dang talk to you. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm zoomed in too far. My bad, y'all can't see that. Here we go. I had it zoomed in for the character. There we are. Yeah. So what does it know? We've got here, and then a little description of it. Very cool. Oh, look at this art of this guy. Look at this guy right here with his little lantern. I'm telling you, dude, the light sources and everything, it's so sick. Guarding outcasts here, down into the hole. We've got our little dungeon descent. Cool. Big spider. We've got our goat person, our 3-headed, I don't know what that is. Morgaska's chamber. Morgaska. Maro dancer room. Her movements are like a dance of death. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of just reading through this right now and just having a good time. I don't know if this can be soloed, but if you've got a group of players, the pale giant, look at how sick he looked. If you got a group of players, you're gonna have a good time reading through this. You even got full-on aftermath things for what happens after. It's very sick. It's a quick little adventure. It's nothing crazy, but look at the way, as I scroll through this, look at the map right here in the top left. It shows you what room you're in by color coding, dude. Oh, sick. Very sick. So like we're here, we're in one, we're in the entrance, right? We go down here and then it shows you where you are. Instead of using numbers, it's got color coding. All right, that's Fomoria, everybody. I cannot wait for this book to release. I can't wait to get my full hands on it. If this video gets enough likes, maybe I'll try to put together some kind of solo thing. There's not enough in the quick start, I think, for me to start, but I just can't wait to have it and get it. And I just want to play it. It's very cool. It's like, it's the theme that I have wanted from BORG for a little while, you know? I love Pirate BORG, you know? I really do, because it puts something on top of the Pirate BORG world, you know what I mean? And this does the same thing, but it's like this dark. It's just very cool. I'm very excited about it. Good job, guys, to everyone who's making this thing. Sick. There'll be links to everything in description. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Let me know what kind of character you would make, all right? Let me know. What are you thinking? And look forward to more stuff. Yeah, take a seat on the couch and roll initiative, at least until you find yourself in the darkness, being chased by the eldritch gods, rolling, trying to see if you have enough oil to put in your lantern before you make it to your next destination. Roll on that, weirdos, and I'll see you next time. Yeah! No, but seriously, this game is just so cool. I cannot wait to play this thing. I'm really happy now that I waited to cover it because I want it even more, and I have to wait. No!